Hello and welcome to Brewers Daily, part of the Fan Arch Podcast Network. This episode is brought to you by Kalshi. Use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. I'm Dave Gasper here. We're on the Wednesday of the All-Star break, so no games today, no games tomorrow for the Brewers as they get their rest here during the middle of the season and get themselves ready for the second half. So we'll look ahead to that a little bit. Trade season has gotten started. The Brewers have made a trade. We'll get into that as well. But the All-Star game last night, predictably, was a dud for the National League. Just as I talked about, we're on a bit of a roll here with the Kalshi picks, but the American League wins 4-0 in this All-Star game. Christopher Sanchez, the hometown kid there for the Philadelphia Phillies, gets to start in the first inning and gives up 3 runs. And the National League lineup, which was predictably bad, was not able to do anything against the American League pitchers. They scrounged together, 2 hits in the end? I mean, it was just horrendous of a performance. And that's what happens when you have 9 position players in your starting lineup for the National League that all have a lower wins above replacement than Bryce Terang. And Bryce Terang's not even invited to come to the game. So, just saying. You kind of put out the B lineup there for the National League, and because of that, you end up getting a B lineup level performance. They could not get anything going, and Miguel Vargas was able to throw in a home run at the end in the 8th inning, but I mean, that game was over from the top of the first. I mean, it was really just a massive dud. There was nothing really exciting that happened, nothing like going back and forth that made it an interesting game. I think it was last year where it's like they were tied and they're going to a swing off and everything, like, or maybe 2 years ago. But like, that is exciting. That is a fun, good All-Star game. This one was not good. This one was relatively boring. Still better than the Pro Bowl, but not saying much. Still better than the NBA All-Star game, which also still doesn't say much. But hey, look, we can't all be the Four Nations face-off and things like that for the NHL. But that was, as far as All-Star games go, that one was very much a dud for everyone really watching it. I mean, not only just the National League getting shut out, but just in general. Nothing super exciting or fun or whatever really going on with all that. There was kind of like the cool moment where they're interviewing Justin Verlander and talking to Jacob Mizorowski and Cam Schlittler. So it's like, okay, you got the old vet who's, on his last tour here, his last run, talking to, the new young kids who are going to be kind of taking over the league and being the face of pitching in Major League Baseball and kind of giving advice to them. That was kind of cool having that conversation, but again, that's all action off the field. Like, in terms of the game itself, like, there was like nothing really that great going. Ernie Clement had a really nice play up the middle, but really a massive dud of an All-Star game, and the National League played poorly as they generally always do. It's weird. How does the NL always play so bad? The National League has so many good teams. They got so many teams above 500. And like, they're doing really well. You look at the American League, and like a lot of those teams are struggling. So it's like, how you would think the National League would have the upper hand for this, but no, they do not. They just always seem to crumble in the All-Star game. It's wild to me, but that's just how it goes. All right, so for the actual Brewers action here, it is trade season, and we have a trade. Not a super exciting one. Easton McGee has been traded to the Kansas City Royals. The Brewers designated McGee for assignment a couple of days ago when they were kind of making some of their roster changes over the weekend there, shuffling guys in and out. They needed a 40-man spot, and so Easton McGee got the DFA, and the Kansas City Royals picked him up, and the Brewers are getting the hotly sought-after prospect cash considerations in the deal. So Brewers getting some cash back. The Brewers sent some cash out for Braden Shoemake to get him added to the roster. So you basically traded Easton McGee for Braden Shoemake. Just working with 2 different teams there, but still, Easton McGee, I thought he was a pretty serviceable reliever for the Brewers for the past little bit. They never really gave him much run at the big league level. He was a shuttle guy up and down quite a bit. But I liked him. I thought he pitched well when he was out there. I was hoping he was going to get a bit more of an opportunity this year. But they were heading into the regular season. It seemed like McGee was going to be in that opening day bullpen. And then the Brewers acquired Jake Woodford instead. And they put Woodford in that opening day bullpen, sent McGee down. McGee came up. He had, a little bit of a stint there for the Brewers, but he's been stuck down in AAA largely ever since. And the Brewers have shuffled through some other relievers in the meantime, and they haven't given McGee another opportunity. So it was clear that somehow, some way, he had fallen out of favor a little bit within the organization. So he gets the DFA, and he's going to get a fresh start in Kansas City with the Royals. They have optioned him to AAA as well, so it's not like he's going straight to the Major League club. But he does get put on the 40-man roster there, and he is going to be in the Royals organization and an option for them. And maybe that's a better opportunity for him because when healthy, this Brewers bullpen is there's not much room in it for a guy like Easton McGee, although they haven't entirely been healthy this year. So you got guys earning opportunities. Maybe Craig Yoho's earning more of opportunities here by pitching well, and they just wanted to go a different direction. But losing bullpen depth there in July, not exactly what you want to see. Perhaps the Brewers will pick some more up here as the second half goes along, and as we head towards the trade deadline coming up on August 3rd. So Easton McGee is on his way to Kansas City. He's going to get himself some really nice barbecue while he's down there, and have himself a fresh start. So that's certainly good for him. I think always seemed like a very, very nice dude. So, all right, now it's going to be tough with Kalshi here because on Kalshi you can trade every single game, but there are no games today. So that's just kind of, in general, looking across the sports landscape, which does make it tough, but that doesn't mean that there aren't things to look at there on Kalshi. And, for me, when there's days like this where there are no games to kind of prepare for, I kind of like looking at the season-long ones, right? The longer-term play type of positions here. And National League champion, which is one here that you can look at. Brewers are trading at 18% to make the World Series this year, to win the NLCS, to advance to the World Series for the first time since 1982. Los Angeles Dodgers, easily the favorite, trading at 46%. The Brewers, right behind them at 18%. Okay, so I've been on a bit of a roll here with the All-Star break, right? A home run derby, Jordan Walker, bang. American League winning by over 1.5 runs in the All-Star game, bang. So I'm going to try and keep the momentum going here, okay? If I'm on this kind of a run, I'm going to try and manifest this one here coming up as well. Brewers National League champion, currently trading at 18%, meaning a $100 trade pays out $525 with a win. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house, and as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use promo code FANARCHBASEBALL to get $10 when you trade 10, Kalshi, Kalshi, trade on anything. All right. So MLB is also having their conversations with the Players Association about the next collective bargaining agreement. And one of the topics at hand is the 2028 Olympics, because baseball is coming back for the Olympics in Los Angeles in 2 years. And so everyone's kind of wondering, are MLB players going to be allowed to play? It's during the middle of the season. What's going to happen with that? And MLB not only is willing to allow MLB players to play, they want to make it mandatory for players who have been chosen for their teams to play, which is wild to me that they would make it mandatory, not some sort of option here. If players skip out on the Olympics without an approved excuse, you're on the restricted list without pay and service time for as many as 25 days through August 3rd, so basically through the Olympics, um, well after the second half begins in the calendar. So you will be like, if you are chosen for the team, you are going to be restricted. Like, you are not going to be able to play for your big league club at all for that stretch. Whether you want to go or not, you're just not going to be allowed to play then. If you're not playing for the Olympics, you're not playing for anybody in that stretch. If you're on the injured list and you're supposed to be an Olympian, like you get legitimately hurt, you can't come back to your MLB team or go on rehab until after August 3rd, which also wild to me that they would require that. But and apparently, according to MLB, the holdup in negotiations is the players' demands for tickets and housing for it, and not the mandatory requirements there. So that's an interesting one from Evan Drellich over at The Athletic. I mean, you can read the full article there, but look, I enjoy the Olympics, as much as anyone. I'm glad baseball is back for the Olympics, and I've actually got myself a couple of tickets to go see baseball at the Olympics coming up in 2 years. But to make it mandatory like that, to kind of like force players against their will almost to go, I really don't think is what it should be. What it should be like. I mean, they should be wanting to go willingly. If they don't want to go, look, there's plenty of other players who are capable and willing of going to the Olympics. It is kind of the tough part of having this during the middle of the regular season. Is MLB going to stop the regular season? Is MLB just going to kind of keep on going during this? I don't know, particularly, but we've seen it with like the NHL. They kind of delay their regular season for a couple of weeks to allow the NHL players to go play in the Olympics. So we've seen that happen before, but baseball is the only one where, I mean, you really kind of see that have to happen. In the NBA, when you have the Summer Olympics, it is not during the NBA season, so any guy can go play for Team USA if they're chosen to. And if they don't want to, doesn't matter, no skin off their nose. But for Major League Baseball, again, I love allowing players to be in the Olympics. I don't love kind of forcing them to do it against their will. And also, like, what if their country gets eliminated early? What if their country gets eliminated in round robin play? They don't move on to the next round. Do they still have to wait until August 3rd before they can come back from the IL or whatever else? Like, it's like, hey, whatever country I would have been playing for, they're done now. Like, I would be coming back to my, big league club. Can I play yet? Can I go on a rehab assignment? Can I play? Can I do whatever here? But they're apparently trying to put all these restrictions on it and try and force participation, which I don't know if they're really like. Is that a sign maybe that there is reason to be concerned that a lot of guys just would not want to go? I don't know, but that is something that's currently making the rounds here as baseball news as we sit through this All-Star break. But also, All-Star break going to be ending soon here at the end of the week, and we can just kind of look ahead a little bit to the second half because the Brewers are sitting again in pretty prime position here, 5 games up in the NL Central. Looking ahead at the schedule, I mean, the Brewers have a 9-game, 10-day homestand coming up here. So after being on the road for the entire month of July so far, they are going to be back home for the next little bit. They got the Marlins coming in, then the Mets after that, and then the Rockies. So you got 3 teams that have not been doing particularly great this year. So that gives you a pretty good position. Then you got the Giants after that, also not doing particularly great. The Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim after that, also not doing particularly great. Then you got, then you got the trade deadline there. So I mean, the Brewers going to be on the road during the trade deadline, a West Coast trip there, San Fran and Los Angeles. Then you come back, you got the Pittsburgh Pirates, Minnesota Twins, also not doing particularly great. And then you got another West Coast road trip, San Diego and the Dodgers. That's going to be a little bit tougher of a road trip there, but still, I mean, you got a whole kind of stretch there to start this second half against some pretty below average teams. That's going to put the Brewers potentially in a very good position to continue to run away with this NL Central and extend their lead over the Cubs and push them back, push them away, keep them at arm's length, and get this division. And the Brewers are currently the Brewers are currently trending at 98.1% chance to make the playoffs on Fangraphs. They have a 79.7% chance to win the division on Fangraphs, so they're looking pretty good. The position that they're in. So you've got still a whole bunch of games. You got games against the Mariners, the Braves coming up still. You got the Rangers still to play. You got another series against the Cubs heading into early September. And then, again, you finish up with the Cubs September 7th, 8th, and 9th. So those are your last games against them. And you got a lot of division opponents there in September. Cubs, Reds, Cubs again, Reds again, Pirates. You end with then you get the Orioles and the Phillies kind of finish out your other schedule. And then you finish at home against the St. Louis Cardinals September 27th. That is the last game of the regular season. So, the Brewers have a pretty solid second half schedule. I think it bodes well for them as long as they continue playing as they have been. They should be in pretty prime spot to end up winning the division once again and putting themselves in a good spot here for the National League playoffs and maybe be the National League champion. That would be nice this year for them to have that. But we'll be breaking all of it down here on the second half right here on Brewers Daily. Also, follow me on Twitter/X at dgasper24. Lots of great content going up over there as well. Appreciate all of you watching and listening, and we'll see you again next time for another episode of Brewers Daily.